position that he holds is contrary to the teaching of the Catholic Church, such a person would change his position immediately upon being informed of the Church's teaching on the matter. Thus, a so-called material heretic is not a heretic at all, but rather a confused Catholic who denies nothing of that which he knows the Church to have taught. The fact that a so-called material heretic is not a heretic is proven by the fact that a so-called material heretic does not cease to be part of the Church, and we have already proven that all heretics cease to be members of the Church. Furthermore, a so-called material heretic, an erring Catholic, does not bring down on his head eternal punishment for denying the faith, and all heretics bring down on their heads eternal punishment for denying the faith. Pope St. Celestine I, Council of Ephesus 431. All heretics corrupt the true expressions of the Holy Spirit with their own evil minds, and they draw down on their own heads an inextinguishable flame. A material heretic, therefore, is not a heretic, but a Catholic who is innocently mistaken about some church teaching. Hence, those who claim that antipope John Paul II is unaware of all the dogmas that he denies, and is therefore only a, quote, material heretic, in other words, he is a mistaken Catholic, are not only arguing that which is absurd, but that which is impossible. It is impossible that antipope John Paul II is only a, quote, material heretic for three reasons. Number one, it is a fact that antipope John Paul II knows of the many dogmas of the Church which he denies. For example, in the 1999 agreement with the Lutheran Church on justification, approved of by antipope John Paul II, antipope John Paul II agreed that the Council of Trent no longer applies. It goes without saying that he cannot be unaware of the Council of Trent if he holds that it no longer applies. This, among other things, makes the claim that antipope John Paul II is only a material heretic impossible. In fact, antipope John Paul II speaks 14 languages fluently and has spoken and written intelligently on scholarly subjects more than most people would ever dream. The amount of material that he has produced is actually staggering. To assert that he is unaware of the simplest church teachings that he denies is false and ridiculous in the highest degree. Number two, it is impossible for antipope John Paul II to be only a material heretic or a mistaken Catholic because, supposing for a moment that he were unaware of the multitudes of dogmas which he denies, which, as we have stated,